Hello viewers, welcome to my YouTube channel Prakash Kulkarni's lectures. Today we are going to study Geography Unit 7, that is India Land Resources. Already you have studied water resources, soil resources and forest resources. In this episode you are going to study about land resources. You are going to study the following concepts in land resources. First one, land use pattern, meaning and classification. Agriculture, meaning and its importance. Types of agriculture in India. Cropping seasons and cropping pattern. Major food crops, commercial crops, fiber crops and beverage crops of India. Role of horticulture and floriculture. Land use pattern. The distribution of land for different uses such as forestry, cultivation, pastures, etc. is called land use or land utilization. It is determined by various factors such as relief features, climate, soil, population density, socio-economic and technical factors. Land is one of the most important natural resources of a country. You can see three pictures here: forestry, cultivation, pastures. So we can see different land use patterns under these three. Classification of the land use pattern. In India, the land use pattern can be classified into 7 categories. Now let us study one by one. The first one is net area zone. Second one is forest area. The third one is land not available for cultivation. Fourth one is fallow land. Fifth one is cultivable waste. Sixth one is permanent pasture and other grazing land. Seventh one is land under miscellaneous uses. Net area zone. The land that can be used to cultivate crops is called net area zone. It accounts for about 42% of the total area, net area zone, total area of the agriculture. It is not evenly distributed all over the country. The main reason is because of climate, relief and availability of water. Next point is the highest proportion is found in the states of Punjab, Haryana, West Bengal, Uttar Pradesh and Kerala. Now have a look at the map. You have already studied in the second unit, that is about the distribution of physical divisions. The second one is the northern Great Plains. Now you can see the major rivers in the Great Plains, that is Brahmaputra, Indus and Ganges. So therefore in the states of Punjab, Haryana, Uttar Pradesh, West Bengal, we have more net area zone, and in southern part of India, Kerala has more net area zone. You can look at the map. It is least in the northeastern states and medium in other states. Now it is shown in orange color, northeastern states. Net area is very least because it is a hilly area, and during southwest monsoon it receives heavy rainfall, therefore it is not suitable for cultivation. Forest area. Now in India, only 22.8% of total reported area is under forest. It is high in the Andaman and Nicobar Islands and in the northeastern states. It is least in the states of Haryana, Punjab, Rajasthan, and Gujarat. Now you study the map, eastern part and western part. In the eastern part, I have mentioned there high forest area states, that is Meghalaya, Assam, Arunachal Pradesh, Nagaland, Mizoram. These states have got highest forest area because during southwest monsoon period between June to September they receive heavy rainfall, therefore thick forests are found there, evergreen forests. Exactly opposite to this, the western part of India, you can have a look at the Rajasthan state. Now Rajasthan and surrounding states, that is southern Punjab, P for Punjab, H Haryana, Rajasthan, and northern part of Gujarat, they have got very least forest area states in India. Land not available for cultivation. Land used for non-agricultural purposes like human settlements, roads, railways, canals, mountains, sandy beaches, etc. Nearly 14% of the total reported area of the country belongs to this category. It is largely found in Assam, Manipur, and Sikkim, but in low proportion in Goa, Kerala, Odisha, and Maharashtra. Now you can have a look at the map, India map. Now see Sikkim, Assam, Manipur, we have got high proportion of not available for cultivation. So whereas we have got least in Maharashtra, that is low proportion in Maharashtra, Odisha, and Kerala and Goa. Fallow land. What is a fallow land? It refers to the land which is not used for cultivation. It accounts to 8.2% of the total reported area. It is largely found in Mizoram, Tamil Nadu, and Meghalaya. Now you can see it on the map, these places. Now it is largely found in Mizoram, Meghalaya, Tripura, whereas it is largely found in Mizoram, Tamil Nadu, and Meghalaya, whereas it is less in Tripura, Puducherry, Andaman and Nicobar Islands. Cultivable waste land. It includes the land which is not taken up for cultivation due to certain soil deficiencies. It is extensive in the states of Meghalaya, Goa, Nagaland, and Rajasthan. Now it accounts for 4.3% of the reported area. Now have a look at the map. In Rajasthan, under soil resources, we have studied about totally desert vegetation where there is a high content of salt is there, very less rainfall is there, therefore it is not suitable for cultivation. Whereas coming to Meghalaya and Nagaland and Goa, so there will be heavy rains, and because of excess rain, the land is cultivable wasteland is more. Permanent pastures and other grazing lands. It accounts for only 3.4% of the total reporting area in India. It is largely found in Himachal Pradesh, Gujarat, and Madhya Pradesh. Land under miscellaneous uses. It includes gardens, orchards, and plantations which account for only 1.1% of total area in the country. Such land is more in the states of Assam, Nagaland, Meghalaya, Kerala, Karnataka, Himachal Pradesh. Now let's come to what is agriculture. What is agriculture under land resources? Now you can see a photograph here. a farmer is sowing. So, agriculture is tilling of the soil for raising food crops and raw materials needed by human beings. It also includes stock raising, poultry farming, and beekeeping. You can see the photos here. Now, one side sheep are rearing, that is called stock raising, and you can see hen here, that is poultry farming, and you can see the bees, beekeeping. So, these also included under agriculture. The importance of agriculture. Nearly 65% of the people depend on agriculture in India. That means it provides occupation to people. The second one is the economic progress of the country depends on it. Third one is main source of food for people and fodder for animals. Fourth one, it is a source of national income and revenue because we export certain agricultural products to foreign countries and it gets revenue. Fifth one, agriculture supports tertiary activities, tertiary sectors like trade, transport, banking, etc. It supports many industries, particularly agro-based industries, for example, cotton, textile and jute textile industries. Now let's come to types of agriculture in India. The first one is subsistence farming. What is subsistence farming? Subsist means living. The production of crop is consumed almost by the farmer. Whatever he grows, he uses it. It is called subsistence farming. In this, the characteristic features of subsistence farming are they use primitive methods of cultivation. So the yield is low. It is widely practiced in northeastern states, Odisha and Madhya Pradesh. You can have a look at the photographs here. Now it is actually he is growing food crops for himself, for his family, and mostly it is found in the hilly areas. Second one is shifting farming. A patch of forest is cleared and burnt to be cultivated for a few years until the fertility of the soil is reduced. It is done in Assam, Meghalaya, Nagaland, Madhya Pradesh, Kerala and Odisha. So right side you can see the picture. There are different names are given to shifting farming. In Assam it is called as zooming. You can see there a patch of forest area is cleared for cultivation or farming. The shifting farming is called zooming in Assam, Ponam in Kerala, Podu in Andhra Pradesh and Odisha. What is sedentary farming? It is cultivation of land at a fixed location. They will not change frequently for cultivation. Farmers stay at one place and they cultivate. That is called sedentary farming. So names of shifting farming you can see on the map. In different states there are different names. Now in zooming is in Assam, Podu in Odisha, again Podu in Andhra Pradesh and in Kerala Ponam it is called. Second one is intensive farming. What is intensive farming? Dear students, please note that there will be one mark question on this. So what is subsistence farming? What is shifting cultivation or farming? What is intensive farming? Like that, usually these questions are asked for 1 mark. That is 1 or 2 sentences you have to write. What is intensive farming? It is a method of farming in which a large amount of capital and labor are applied per unit of land is called intensive farming. For example, paddy cultivation, you can see in the photograph. The characteristic feature is now large amount of capital and labor are applied per unit of land. That is the characteristic feature of intensive farming. The third one is commercial farming. What is commercial farming? A system of farming in which crops are grown for the market is called commercial farming. Now you can have a look at the photographs. Only cash crops are cultivated on a large scale using small amount of labor, machinery and scientific methods of cultivation. So these are the characteristic features of commercial farming. Mixed farming. What is mixed farming? Already you know what is agriculture, raising of crops from the soil. Agriculture involving the cultivation of crops and livestock rearing is called mixed farming. Here mixture of both cultivation of crops and livestock rearing. So farmers get income from both. This is called mixed farming. It has been introduced in India since 1951. Now it has become popular in many states. Fifth one is plantation farming. What is plantation farming? It refers to the cultivation of single crop on large estates. Please remember the fields are very vast here and it requires more labor and capital. Tea, coffee, rubber and coconut are the important crops. If you go to Kerala or Karnataka or Madikeri, so there you can see coffee plantation or tea plantations. They are very vast and they require more labor and capital. So that is the characteristic feature of plantation farming. Sixth one is irrigation farming and dry farming. Irrigation farming, a method of farming under which crops are grown with the help of irrigation, is called irrigation farming. It is expensive but essential in India where the rainfall is seasonal, uncertain and insufficient. They may ask you a question like this: what is the importance of irrigation farming? Your answer should be, so rainfall is seasonal, uncertain and insufficient, therefore irrigational farming is important in India. Next one is dry farming. It is a method of farming carried on in areas which receives scanty rainfall. Scanty means less rainfall. It is mainly practiced in peninsular India and in western Rajasthan where there is low rainfall. Next one is humid farming. It refers to the cultivation of crops in areas which receives sufficient rainfall. Crops are grown without the help of irrigation. Now you have already studied in chapter climate or climate chapter that there are two branches of monsoons. One is Arabian Sea and the other one is Bay of Bengal branch. Now western part of Western Ghats and northeastern states receives heavy rainfall. So because of this there will be cultivation of crops, that is called humid farming. It is found along the west coast and the other areas receive sufficient rainfall. Now let's come to crop season and cropping pattern. What are the factors affecting cropping pattern? Now please remember, we are not growing paddy or rice throughout India or wheat throughout India or sugarcane throughout India. So they vary. So cropping pattern varies due to several factors such as relief features. For example, tea coffee requires a slopy area on the hilly areas, whereas cultivation of rice requires plain land because water should stagnate there. And climate, different types of climatic seasons are there in India. Then size of farms are there. Water supply is not uniform throughout India, and also income of farmers, it is not same. And apart from this, technology is another latest addition to cropping pattern. So therefore, these are all the factors: relief features, soil, climate, size of farms, water supply, income of farmers, technology, etc. Now you can see three photographs here. So in the first photograph you can see the clouds. The clouds refers to climate, and it is not a plain land, it is a hilly area. That means land features. Secondly, population. The distribution of population is not uniform throughout India. So some areas are highly density areas, some are very low density. So population also plays important role. And coming to soil, types of soil, you have already studied under soil resources: black soil, laterite soil, red soil, mountain soil, etc. So they vary. Because of these things, cropping pattern differs. Now let's come to three agricultural seasons. The first one is Kharif. Kharif season. Please do not have confusion, because some students have written like this in the examination. When they have asked write agricultural seasons, they have written climatic seasons, that is winter, summer, southwest monsoon, like that. That is totally wrong answer. Please remember, here agricultural seasons are different from climatic seasons. Now coming to agricultural seasons, the first one is Kharif. In Kharif, sowing takes place in June, July and harvested in September, October. The best example is rice or paddy. Now the second one is Jade agricultural season. It is grown in between the Kharif and the Rabi crop season. Here major crops are vegetables and fruits. And the third one is Rabi. Rabi agricultural season. Sowing takes place in October, November. Now this is the period of retreating monsoon or northeast monsoon period. So particularly now eastern states like Odisha, Andhra Pradesh, Tamil Nadu get more rainfall, and crops are harvested in February, March. The best example for Rabi crop is wheat. Please don't forget wheat. Kharif crop season. The rainy season crops are called Kharif crops. Sowing is in June, July and harvested in September, October. The important crops under Kharif season are rice, jowar, ragi, cotton, groundnuts, maize, etc. are the main Kharif crops. You can have a look at the photographs here: rice, millets and maize. Rabi crop season. When is the Rabi crop season? When the northeast monsoon begins, that is in the month of October, November. Sowing takes place in October, November and it is harvested in February, March. The important Rabi crops, generally they ask questions. Mention or write any two Rabi crops, examples of Rabi crops. Your answer should be wheat, barley, gram, linseed are important crops. The first photograph is wheat, second one is gram, third one is linseed. You can write any two crops under Rabi crop season. The third one is Jade crop season. The crops are grown in between the Kharif and the Rabi. Important crops are watermelon, cucumber, oilseeds, some pulses vegetables. These are the important jade crop seasons. Now, particularly, they grow more fruits and vegetables here. Cropping pattern. The cropping pattern of a region refers to the proportion of an area under different crops at a given time. The cropping pattern of any region in India changes from time to time. The factors affecting cropping pattern are relief features, soil, climate, size of farms, water supply, income of farmers, and technology. Now let's come to major crops of India. A wide variety of crops are grown in India in different parts of India. They can be classified as food crops, commercial crops, oilseeds, and plantation crops. Now let us take food crops. The crops which are grown to provide food for people are called food crops. For example, rice, wheat, jowar, pulses, etc. Now you can have a look at these photographs, pictures, and these are all the food crops. Now paddy or rice, it is a kharif crop, and this is most important geographical requirements of any crop. They will ask you for 3 marks in the examination. You have to write geographical requirement means compulsorily you have to write temperature, rainfall and soil for that crop. Now paddy or rice requires 18 to 25 degrees centigrade, rainfall 50 to 70 centimeter per year, and it grows under soil, alluvial and clayey loam soils. It is the staple means main food in the eastern and southern and southwestern parts of the country. The second largest producer of rice is only after China. Now, first let me read the distribution. Rice is grown in all the states of India, almost all states. But West Bengal is the largest producer. Please note this. They may ask you for multiple choice question. West Bengal is the largest producer of rice. The other states are Andhra Pradesh, Uttar Pradesh, Punjab, Tamil Nadu, Odisha and Karnataka. Now have a look at the map. You can see there in the northern part of India, P for Punjab, Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, Jharkhand, West Bengal, Assam, where there is heavy rainfall and there are great North Indian plains. And coming to eastern part, eastern coastal areas, you can see O for Odisha, Telangana, Andhra Pradesh, Tamil Nadu and Karnataka, where rivers are there. So where these river plains are there, rice is grown because rice requires more water. Wheat, it is a rabi crop. The geographical requirements are temperature 10 to 15 degree, rainfall 50 to 70 centimeter per year, soil heavy loams and black soils. It is the staple or main food in the northern and northwestern part of the country. It is a crop of temperate regions. Temperate region means north of Tropic of Cancer up to northern part of India. Coming to distribution, in the northern plains including Punjab, Rajasthan, Gujarat, Maharashtra and northern part of Karnataka. Now UP is the largest producer, second largest producer of wheat in the world next to China. Now you can have a look at the map. So almost northern and northwestern part of India, grows more wheat. But how to remember? You please study geographical requirements of rice and wheat. And temperature rainfall is more for paddy, whereas wheat requires less temperature and less rainfall. Coming to sugarcane, it is a commercial crop. The geographical requirements are temperature 21 to 23 degrees centigrade, rainfall between 100 to 150 centimeters per annum, and the best suitable soil is alluvial and loamy soil. Alluvial soil means North Indian plains. A crop that is grown for sale is called commercial crop. For example, sugarcane, cotton, tobacco, oilseeds, etc. Sugarcane is the most important commercial crop of India. Coming to distribution, Uttar Pradesh, Maharashtra, Tamil Nadu, Karnataka, Gujarat, and Andhra Pradesh. India has the world's largest area under sugarcane. It is the second largest producer of sugarcane, next only to Brazil. Now you can study the map. You just compare north of Tropic of Cancer and south of Tropic of Cancer. So north of Tropic of Cancer mainly we have got Uttar Pradesh, whereas south of Tropic of Cancer, that is southern India, Gujarat, Maharashtra, Karnataka, Andhra Pradesh and Tamil Nadu. These states grow more sugar cane compared to North Indian states. Tobacco. Geographical requirements are 21 to 23 degrees centigrade, rainfall between 50 to 100 centimeter in a year, soil sandy loamy soil. Tobacco is used for smoking, that is bidi, cigarette, cigar, cheroot, hookahs, etc. Very little is used for chewing, snuff and insecticides. It is one of the important cash crops of India. It was introduced in India by the Portuguese. Coming to distribution, Andhra Pradesh, Gujarat, Uttar Pradesh, Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, Maharashtra and Bihar. These states you can see on the map. India is the third largest producer and fourth largest exporter of tobacco in the world. Now coming to cotton, geographical requirements are temperature 21 to 24 degrees centigrade. So rainfall 50 to 100 centimeter in a year, soil black cotton soil. So when a question is asked in the examination, write the geographical requirements of any crop. You can straight away mention like this in a brief manner. You can write temperature, rainfall, soil like that. Soil, black cotton soil is most important. Cotton is a fiber crop. It provides raw material for the cotton textile industry in India. It is a tropical and subtropical crop. It is grown as a kharif crop. That means during southwest monsoon, cotton is grown. Coming to distribution, Gujarat, Maharashtra, Andhra Pradesh, Haryana, Madhya Pradesh, Punjab, Karnataka and Tamil Nadu. Now look at the map here. Almost western part of India, particularly Gujarat, Madhya Pradesh, Maharashtra, Karnataka, Telangana, Andhra Pradesh, Tamil Nadu. Now why cotton is grown more here? Because it requires black soil. Black soil has moisture retention capacity. Therefore, even if little bit rain is less, but the crop will withstand. Therefore, cotton is growing very well in the black cotton soil. India has the largest cotton growing area and it is the third largest producer of raw material, raw cotton in the world. Now coming to beverage crops. Now what is a beverage crop? The crops which are used to produce stimulating drinks are called beverage crops. Coffee and tea are the examples of beverage crops. You can have a look at the photographs: tea plantation and coffee plantation. Tea. The geographical requirements for tea are temperature 21 to 30 degrees centigrade, rainfall 150 to 250 centimeter in a year. Please note 150 to 250. Now, can you think of where? It is mostly in northeastern states, that is Assam, Meghalaya, Nagaland, those areas. Northeastern part of India receives 150 to 250 centimeter rainfall. Soil: deep and fertile soil and rich in humus. India is the second largest producer of tea in the world after China. It is a tropical and subtropical crop. It requires hill slopes with an altitude of 1200 to 2400 meters. So, you have studied about Sivalix in the second unit, where it is a slopy area. So, in a slopy area, tea is growing more, not on a plain land. Coming to distribution, tea is mainly grown in Assam, West Bengal, Tamil Nadu, and Kerala. Assam is the largest producer of tea. Please note Assam because Meghalaya is nearby, where heavy rainfall is recorded in Masinram. So therefore, Assam tea is very famous. Darjeeling, that is in West Bengal. WB means West Bengal. Darjeeling tea is world famous. The next aspect is about horticulture. This field is called Golden Revolution. So why it is Golden Revolution? The intensive cultivation of fruit, vegetables, flower, medicinal and aromatic plants is called horticulture. So that we grow more during Jahid agricultural season. So that is why this cultivation of fruits, vegetables, flowers is known as Golden Revolution. Role of horticulture. India, with its wide variety of climate and soil, has good potential for growing a variety of horticultural crops. It provides an incentive for making agriculture more profitable through efficient land use, optimum utilization of natural resources, and generating skilled employment for the rural masses. It enhances exports and provides nutritional security to people. Now, floriculture. Now, India's agroclimatic conditions are very suitable for the cultivation of a variety of flowers. India is known for growing traditional flowers such as jasmine, marigold, rose, crossandra, and aster. Cut flowers includes orchids, gladiolus, carnation, anthurium, and lilies. Floriculture is mainly developed in Tamil Nadu, Karnataka, Andhra Pradesh, Maharashtra, Punjab, Haryana, and West Bengal. The role of floriculture. Floriculture is the cultivation of flowers for commercial purpose. They will ask you for 1 mark. What is floriculture? Floriculture is the cultivation of flowers for commercial purpose. India is known for the art of growing flowers since time immemorial. It plays a significant role in Indian agriculture. It generates income and provides employment opportunities for farmers, especially women, and add to the export of the country. India's agroclimatic conditions are very suitable for the cultivation of a variety of flowers. So, different flowers grown in India are jasmine, marigold, Crocandra. You can have a look at these photos, very beautiful flowers. These are grown in India. Rose, aster, gladiolus. Now we conclude this episode here. Thank you. Please like and share this video. Subscribe to my channel and press the bell icon to get updates on new videos. Thank you once again.